What's up, Chris?
What's going on, Jay? I feel like it's been quite a minute since we recorded on
Yeah.
Rocks, the e-commerce hour, but here we are again today. Today, Jay, as you're well aware, uh, the e-commerce world is obsessed with tech, just like we are. AI, chatbots, VR, drones. We talked about all that stuff on this show over the past year or so. But most blog posts don't tell you what's actually worth your time. And so today, what we're going to do is break down 7 emerging technologies and give them the score based on how useful they actually are in the real world for Shopify and Amazon sellers. But Jay, before we do that, I feel like there's some news today. Is that right?
Yes. Rest in peace. The Minimis exception.
Oh,
Today, we are recording
oh no.
today on August
R.I.P.
29th,
Minimis.
and the new rules are in effect as of today. And as would be the case, many countries' postal systems don't know how to handle it, so they're not accepting packages. So
Ooh,
yeah, interesting. It only took our mail system
6 months?
6 months to get that. Yeah. So
7?
and honestly, we don't know if they truly have it or not, but
Right.
we shall find out.
Yeah.
But
It's
those
and
those of you that were getting your packages from Shein and Temu and such,
yep.
expect for those prices to go up, and it's
Yep.
going to happen. So
Yep.
yeah. So
And so, just a reminder so that everybody recalls, the de minimis threshold was $800. That was an $800 package. It could come in duty free, so you didn't have to worry about tariffs or international things like that. But with the waiver of that de minimis threshold, now those packages, those Shimu packages, now they will catch those tariffs. And so, unfortunately, that, like Jay mentioned, that's almost certainly something that will be passed along to the purchaser. But if you are in that space, right? If that's the marketplace that you play in, know that that's what everyone's going to be doing. So be aware. And then, like Jay mentioned, it is very possible that the IRS or whatever governing body it is that handles tariffs. Who is it? The IRS, Jay? I assume it is, but I guess I don't know.
no, it's Customs and Border Patrol
Where? Okay,
in the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol, but
gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, so again, know that you're going to maybe get a bill from somebody you weren't expecting, or that those packages are going to be held up at the border while all that gets resolved.
Yeah, so
Uh,
the tweens that order the bathing suits and the cute outfits for, like 15 outfits for $16 will probably
yep.
be spending, more like $115 for those 15 outfits now. So they are the ones that are going to be majorly impacted, as well as those of us that shop on Temu.
Right. And I'm sure there are some competitors out there who may be able to take advantage of this, right? So if your competitor was in that space, but you're U.S. based or something like that, where you've somehow managed to be able to get those margins enough on products of that nature, now maybe your opportunity to capitalize. So keep that in mind as well. It is an important thing to know that de minimis threshold. We, like Jay mentioned, it was 7 months ago or something that it was brought down from high, that this was going to be an executive order that was going to go into effect, and today it actually has. Now,
Well,
same as
keep in mind it was the waiver was waived way back when, but the U.S. Postal Service couldn't figure out how to handle it, so they backed off and put it back into play, and then they named August 29th as that final date. So, you know, it's just like everything else when we're dealing with tariffs. It's
yeah.
FAFO.
Yeah. And I guess that's exactly exactly the way to think about it right now.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me to have a Labor Day celebration on the 2nd where these tariffs are paused again. That would probably not come as a shock,
Yeah.
especially if it ends up being a cluster at the border or somewhere else where these packages have been arriving. So don't be too surprised if this is a change, but at least for now, it's actually effective and it has gone into effect. And we'll see. We'll have to see, as we say on the show a lot. We'll see what the ultimate impacts of this are. But in the short term, the expectation is like your $1 dress is now a $10 dress. So
Yeah.
so good luck out there.
But
Um,
like you pointed out, Labor Day and tariffs, so I am using Labor Day weekend to work on my landing cost calculator again.
yeah,
I'm rebuilding it using some vibe coding, and going to relaunch that as an actual app. So yeah, that should be coming out here next week.
exciting. Well, we'll be right here to share it once it
Yeah,
does.
for
Right?
sure.
Yeah. In the meantime, let's get to the show, Jay.
Let's
Did you
do
know,
it.
Jay? AI just gonna change everything. Uh,
What is this AI
what?
thing you're talking about?
Right? Yeah. Jay, did you know you need a chatbot or your brand is toast, dead,
Yeah, pretty much.
DOA, or automated or augmented reality, Jay. It's the next thing. It's going to 10x your conversions. 10x. Does all that sound familiar? There's a blog out there, Shift for Shop blog, that said that these are must-have technologies. But exactly what we're going to talk about today is, are they really, or are they just another shiny object that drains both your time and, more importantly, your cash? So we've worked with lots of e-commerce brands. And we're going to talk about some of these different things. Jay, before I get started, what you got? What do you have?
Yeah, so a lot of these things that you're mentioning are coming out of the marketers' mouths, not coming out of the teams that are actually implementing these things
Right.
or actually the teams that are using these tools. So we're going to dive in a little deeper, look at some of the realities, and remove some of that shine that the marketers are putting
Yeah.
on top of this.
And
And,
and some of
and
this
yeah,
and some of this we've already talked about before. And so it may sound like, didn't you guys already talk about that? Well, it's because it's so important, right? And because you continue to hear about it. And because some interpretations around these things are like really true, right? And really important. So let's start. Like, artificial intelligence for personalization. This article, the what was it called? I already forgot it. Whoops. Shift for Shop. Shift for Shop said AI for personalization boosts conversions, enables smarter product recommendations, enables voice shopping, and helps to improve internal efficiencies. So Shopify apps like Rebuy or LimeSpot, you can use for AI for cross sells and upsells, and you get a great ROI if you have enough traffic, right? If you have enough SKUs. But for stores that are pretty small, you may not have the data or the amount of volume to be able to train and tune an AI to be able to do that same thing that we're talking about here all that effectively. And so, if we're going to look at these, we've talked on the show hundreds of times, probably, about how personalization is the future, and I think that that's going to remain the case. Um, but this one is definitely legit. So on the BS meter, like maybe a 2, because it's only legit if you're ready, right? If you're big enough, if you've got the systems in place to get good data to support that activity, like this can be extremely valuable for you, but you need the AI to be able to do it properly, right, Jay?
oh, for sure. And part of this, and I believe you mentioned voice shopping. So, yeah, voice shopping is great when you can use a tool like Alexa or Siri,
Right.
but that's only part of it. Think about who that's truly going to benefit. If you're selling on Amazon, yeah, you probably will be able to take advantage of your Alexa
Absolutely.
device. But,
Yeah.
for those standalone Shopify stores, probably not so much. And
Right.
in order to really incorporate these tools, you're going to have to be a dev heavy shop in order to get this accomplished. So it
Right.
might not be the right position for you. So, like we said, this is some of the BS that's in there, but overall, the AI part is dead on and
Yeah.
it's so necessary.
Pretty legit. 2 out of
Yeah.
5. That's not bad. That's where we're talking like really, really low stakes on that one. This
Yeah.
one, and again, we mentioned this as our trend for 2025 and maybe the very first show of 25. Personalization is the future. And as the AI tools do get better at this more broadly, it is very possible that your smaller shops are going to be able to benefit from some of those same values. but AI still learning, right? And that means that it needs some data and it needs a pretty good amount to be able to give you that right product recommendation, or to be able to tell you what you can do internally to get better. So very, very, very useful. Certainly a thing of the future, but only if you're ready right now.
And there are tools coming out. I mean, if anybody has heard of MCP or Model Context Protocol, it like helps bypass the APIs by connecting the MCP to your platform instead of directly building to an API. So if that could be worked out in this situation, that will help add to the adoption of these tools.
Right. Absolutely. The second thing that we're going to talk about today are chatbots. Jay, we've had a bunch of conversations around our friends in the chat box group here.
Yes.
The article claims, right, 24/7 support, helps with discovery, includes facts, right? So you can use mini chat on Instagram or Messenger, which can crush it for product launches or lead generation, especially with those the DM funnels, right? Those, so you're narrowing funnels.
Yeah.
But generic website chatbots often frustrate users if they're not well trained. And we've talked about this one specifically because I've had that experience. After I had that flight with Southwest, their AI chatbot was so bad at the time because it wasn't very well trained. It could not get me to the answer that I needed. And so this particular thing, the BS meter on chatbots, we'll call it what do you think, Jay? A 3 out of 5?
Yeah, probably. That sounds good.
They're solid. They're solid if you use them in sales or campaigns, and they're just absolutely garbage sometimes if you're just using a generic bot. It needs to be tailored, similar to the one above, right? It needs to have some personalization to it, right? It needs data underlying it. It needs to be well designed. If you're just using a generic one, it may just make people more frustrated and less likely to close their sales.
Yeah, and ManyChat is great for building your funnel.
Right.
I use it all the time. It's great on IG and Facebook, but
Yeah.
there are other tools out there, and in order for these other tools to really, really work, you have to have it connected to a RAG database. And I would love to tell you what RAG stands for. It's slipping my mind at the moment. But basically, it stores your information about your product, about your company, about your processes, about the customers. You could load documents in there, and within seconds, it will find the information and be able to respond back with it. So you have to build this out. It's like you said, Chris. If you haven't trained that chatbot, well, this is how you train it. You're putting that information in your RAG database, and all it is a vector database. It makes it really easy to find lots of information very quickly.
Yeah, right. And so again, that's a really important factor here. The next topic that we'll touch on, and we haven't really talked much about this on the show, and so this I'm interested in your thoughts on this one, Jay. I know that this is happening in lots of things that I see, and that's gamification. The article claims that you can have an up to 700% conversion boost if you're using quizzes or spin to win or things of that nature, right? There are certain things like OMAs, I guess. I'm not actually familiar with this, but OMA style sweepstakes or Typeform style quizzes that can collect leads like crazy. And they can be really, really powerful in beauty or in apparel or in health, because you can try tailor down the types of things that your customers are looking for. But oftentimes things like spin to win wheels, with a 10% discount or something like this, right? Maybe they're just not all that appealing. Users are fatigued of those things. They're getting tired of them.
Have you ever clicked on a Temu ad and got the spin to win? I did. I did. And I got 4 free items.
Yes!
But you had to spend so much. It's it's okay. I'm good.
Yeah. And so conversion can be low if it's overused, right? And more importantly, probably, if there's not a real incentive. This is the important thing about draws like that. So the BS meter on this particular thing, probably also a 3, right? It's not completely wrong, right? It's fun. Sometimes spinning the wheels to get free stuff is fun. But it's only fun if it fits your brand. Like if you're a high luxury brand with a wheel, like that doesn't really make sense, right? That's a
Yeah.
miss. If it's not something that your users are going to be drawn to, like that's not the thing that you need. And then again, it's also really important that whatever your incentive is here, the gamification that you're doing, that there's a real incentive. Like if you're just offering nothing, or if you're offering the same thing, like, oh, now you can give us your email and get 10% off, which on your first order, which you like basically can get anywhere. Like that's just not appealing. It's just annoying.
Look,
Um,
look, gamification is cool. I mean, if you're trying to, onboard a customer, you gamify it. You give them points. It's like you're going through a course. You give them points, and at the end of that course, they level up. It doesn't matter what you get when you level up, but you've leveled up, and people do that. People buy into that.
right.
So the spin to win, whatever. But if you're really truly gamifying it and keeping people interested, it doesn't matter if it truly works. Because they're sitting there looking at your logo, and the next time you pop up a sale, they're going to click on it. So that's where the gamification really works. It's keeping the interest in your brand.
Right. And the truth is there, at least right now, there are other ways you can do that. But gamification is one that can be effective. And like
Yeah.
Jay said, if you do it the right way, and especially if it aligns with your brand strategy more broadly, like perfect, go for it. Um, the next one we talked about a couple weeks ago, I feel like, Jay, virtual reality and augmented reality for immersive shopping. Obviously, the claims are this helps customers visualize products in their space, right along their wall, right? Um, there are examples like IKEA Place, which is a top tier version of this. Apparently, I've not used IKEA Place,
Not used to it.
but I can imagine what it does. Like probably my IKEA couch that's back here that you can't see, a little off screen. Probably could have seen what that looked like in the space using IKEA Place. Shopify AR also lets you do this for free with some 3D product imaging, but it's still like very very
Mm-hmm.
niche. And so if you sell wearables and home goods and furniture, like this is pretty powerful. And that's exactly what we mentioned to you 2 weeks ago or whenever it was. But if you're not selling that, like if it's not something people put on their face to see, right? Or if it's not something that people put on their bodies, so that it's not something that you're wearing or that you're seeing or that it's valuable to see in a space, like it's just not worth it. It's time to skip it. And so the
Yeah.
BS meter for this one that helps customers visualize products, right? That it's perfect for immersive shopping. It's probably like pretty high BS unless you're very very specifically in some of these spots, right? So it's really cool to be able to do that, but it's definitely overkill for most smaller stores, and it's really really not impactful unless you're in that like certain set of products that can really benefit from this ability to try on. I think we talked about Warby Parker back before, right? Like if you've
Yep.
got glasses on your face, you want to know what that looks like, and that can be extremely valuable in that situation. Um,
But
Go ahead, Jake.
look at your company. If let's say you're a fashion company and you're getting crushed by
Mhm.
returns, the
Yeah,
AR might help you
sure
by
might.
having buyers visualize what they're getting before they purchase.
Yeah,
You could lower that return rate by 25%, and that that's a lot of sales you're protecting right there, and you're protecting your profits. So it might be worth the time and effort to go and put in the AR for that, which
yeah,
I believe Amazon does have. And hey, what do you look like in
yeah.
that outfit?
Yeah.
But
Oh, and
if,
I saw that. I mean, Amazon has the new thing too. I don't know, Jay, how much you buy clothes on Amazon, but every once in a while I do. And they've got certain models that you can like pick the model that looks like you,
yeah,
that's like your shape, and then see what they look like in the different clothes. So that is a fun thing, right? Like it is an iteration of AR, right? It's not right on me, but it's
yeah,
on this guy that looks a lot like me. And so again, in certain situations, super super valuable, but in some, maybe not so much.
yep, I hear you.
The next one, Jay, is maybe the most controversial of all. That's not true. This one's not controversial at all,
I was
and
gonna
that's
say,
social commerce, Jay. Social commerce. We've talked about this like probably every week on the show. 114 million Americans will shop directly from social platforms by the end of the year. That's a third of Americans. They use TikTok Shop. They use Instagram checkout, and those things are becoming massive. And there's absolutely no bullshit to this. There's no BS. The BS meter, it says 1 here, but I think it's 0. Like social commerce, very, very real, very, very powerful. We've seen brands like increase by 20 to 30% of total sales directly if they can get TikTok Shop working properly and pair that with user generated content and a review heavy strategy. Like there's just absolutely no question that this can be a winning thing for you. And it's really not all that hard to implement as long as you're doing it properly.
And we've talked about this many times. By using social commerce, you're meeting your buyers where they are.
Right.
You're at the intersection of Snapchat and TikTok, and they're in those platforms all day long. And it's like, why not? As they're scrolling, put those ads in. I can tell you, I placed an order this week on something from scrolling through TikTok. So I mean, it's where we're at, and that's what we're gonna do.
There is no question. So if you are not exploring a social commerce strategy, it is time. So get in there, get to doing it, because the opportunity is substantial. So yeah, absolutely, no BS on that one. No BS there. One thing that we've talked about a couple times on the show, because it's been in the news, especially here in the North Texas area, is drone delivery. As you may recall, the folks over at Amazon were starting to do drone delivery down in the College Station area. That was one of their test markets, and also in the Phoenix area, which is where High Rock is home based.
I really would have loved to have seen some drone deliveries earlier this week. That would be so fun. With the storms, the monsoons, followed by the dust storms. Oh my gosh.
Probably not that. We should close the drones down for that time. But with that being said, the article claims that like the drone delivery market has the potential to be projected to hit 31 or more billion by 2028. That's not a small number. That's a substantial number. But the biggest problem with this particular thing, right, is that like it's a really, really cool thing, right? But it's a future tech. It's just, this one is unfortunately not a thing that you're going to be able to roll out on your own. So if you're trying to do drone delivery, that's probably not a good choice. Don't do that. 5 out of 5 on the BS for you as an individual shopper, right? But know that unless you're like, your customers may be getting products through Amazon drone delivery if you're selling through Amazon, right, and using FBA, and so that's very, very real. So it's the Amazon Prime Air, right? Obviously, it's still in beta. It's in a few places, like we talked about, College Station, Phoenix, Walmart. I think we mentioned was doing some testing of drone delivery as well. It's the future, and it will come eventually, but it is definitely like not for the average Shopify seller and self-fulfiller. Not for you, and not right now. Jay, any extra thoughts on drone delivery? Can't wait for it to actually be real, though.
I would love to get drone delivery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the next time in Phoenix we'll have to figure out if we can whip one up.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, the next thing that we're exploring today is peer-to-peer social payments. So offering Venmo, PayPal, Zelle, Apple Pay increases conversions. That is what this article claims, and that's not questionable. Like that's absolutely 100% true. Yeah, absolutely. No BS on this one either. Just like social commerce, offering additional payment options, and especially social payment options, can be super and substantial. And in fact, if you go listen to our show from last time, like we talked about exactly that thing about how having Apple Pay is so valuable for you. Right, so using Shopify payments, using Apple Pay, using PayPal or Venmo, you can see lower cart abandonment rates. It gives people, especially mobile shoppers, like a really frictionless option, which is the thing that we really talk about here on this show, and makes it like a super easy win. One-click checkout becomes the table stakes now. Right, there's no question. This is not a thing that we're arguing about. No bogusness to that. Definitely a thing that you need to be exploring if you haven't already.
Yeah, the story says that if you use these, it lowers cart abandonment rates, and it is 100% correct. You spent 25 minutes shopping on this site, And now it's like, enter your card number. What do you mean I have to enter my card number? Why can't I just use Apple Pay?
Right.
It's like, I'm out. Because
Absolutely.
I don't necessarily carry my cards. I mean, it's all in my phone. Everything
Yep.
is in my phone. Make it easy for me.
That's right.
It should have taken less than 10 seconds. You pull it up. Oh, Apple Pay. Click the button. You double click. Done. Honestly, that's all it takes. Instead of going out and, okay, let's get the credit card. And honestly, I use a password software. I have credit cards loaded in there. It's not that difficult. But it's the extra button clicks. It's sometimes it goes through, sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
Apple Pay goes through every time. PayPal, easy to use. You just log in, say yes, I accept, revert back to the payment, and it just flows. It
Right.
removes all that friction, and it's like it's just easier on your brain. So be easier on your brain if you're an operator. Get those sales and make sure you offer the one-click payment systems.
It's the right answer. It's the
That's
obvious
it.
answer. Super easy answer.
Yeah. And, the notes say this is like BS 1 of 5. This is BS
True.
0. I mean, honestly.
Yeah. Just like social commerce.
Yes.
These types of payments, social commerce, social payments, gotta do them. Table stakes.
Yeah.
Gotta have them. They just make all the difference. Like, and again, as time progresses, like the longer and longer that you wait to adopt these things, the farther and farther that you're going to get behind.
Most definitely.
These payment options, they also open up different markets to you potentially, right? Because you're able to collect payment easier from other areas of the world potentially. They can just be huge drivers of your business just by
for
allowing
sure.
different payment choices. So this can be substantial for sure. And so, Jay, I didn't realize it, but that was the last one we're talking about today. so those are seven different things that are top of mind. And
Always
so
end on a high note, Chris.
Yeah, well, so
That's
what we're gonna
why I
do,
put it
actually,
there.
We're gonna end on a new segment, Jay, where we take this information and consolidate it down. We're gonna call it the CFO POV segment. So the point of view from CFO advisors like Jay and myself. So let's talk ROI. Tech is great, but only if it pays for itself. I think that's really important, right? AI and personalization tools, they can lift your average order value, but you need repeat customers and volume.
Right.
And it also takes a lot of time to set up and tune, right? So these things, if you don't have that underlying set of data, right, if you don't have that information, maybe not for you. Chatbots can be really, really easy and cheap to test. And so you can see what happens when you ask them questions that are relatively basic. You can use them for promos or for product quizzes. Maybe be careful on those tests for using them for support, because that can cause problems. I'm an example of this.
I mean, if you are using it for support, use the
Yeah.
ones that are designed for customer support
Right.
out of the box. Like those that offer, ticketing systems like Zendesk. Their chatbots have been around a long time and they are trained well. But
Yeah.
utilize like the mini chats of the world. Use it on the front end. Fill your funnels. Make your people happy. Give them discounts, and even I'm gonna jump into the next section with that. Even gamify it a little bit with your chatbots.
Yeah. I mean, that can be fun, right? Product quizzes that allow you to like do those types of things can be really powerful.
Yeah.
But with respect to gamification, don't invest unless you already have the traffic. Like, it doesn't make sense to offer a game if nobody's going to play it, and so it doesn't work in a vacuum. Like, you need to have some activity there. And again, like we mentioned before, you need to offer a real incentive. Like, gamifying just to gamify is maybe it gets your brand out there a little bit more, like Jay was talking about earlier in the show. But at the same time, like, it can get old quick, and people can get burned out quick. Speaking
sure.
of getting burned out quick, VR and AR, don't do that unless you're selling specific things where it can be really valuable. Eyeglasses, jewelry, furniture, home goods, like things that you can literally see in spaces. Like, then maybe, yeah, maybe it's worth it. And again, you need to have some good volume to make that investment worth it. But it can be, and especially in those target niches. Drone delivery, super cool headline. Don't try to make your own drones. Don't do that. That not a good strategy right now. But it'll be cool one day. And then finally, we talked about social commerce. We talked about having options for payment. Oh my word! Obviously, those things are really really important. Low friction, high reward. If you're not doing it already, do it today. And so, with that said, what do we recommend, Jay? We recommend start with AI-driven product recommendations, chat automations related to promos and product finding products, and then of course, absolutely must have social commerce integrations. You just absolutely must be investing in this because you need to be able to claim that market share.
Yeah, and if you're selling on Shopify, they make it so easy to integrate with Meta, TikTok. It all runs through through your Shopify site, and it's just so easy. You got to do it.
Yep, absolutely. Same with the payments. Apple Pay, super easy to add in most situations, and especially on things like Shopify.
Click of a button.
Click of a button, and then it makes it a click of a button. So
yeah.
Super easy. It kills the friction, right? It will lead to less abandonment. It will lead to more conversion without like any effort at all, which is fantastic. Jay, what other things did you want to talk about on the show today? Or what other thoughts do you have about these 7 ideas here?
Well, from my perspective, this being a long weekend, I said I'm going out of my comfort zone. I'm working on an app this weekend. Why not take one of these options and implement it this weekend? And, it's a sale weekend and see how it works. Jump on in there, test it, try it, promote it, and, report back to us exactly what happened.
Yeah.
We want to know.
Love to hear about it. Love to hear what's working for you, whether you've experimented with any of these things already and had success, or maybe you have some pushback for us. Maybe social commerce didn't work the way you wanted it to. I'd love to get your feedback on those types of things. The big takeaway today is that tech can 10 times your brand if you use it correctly, or if you don't, it can distract you right into bankruptcy. So keep that in mind. You using tech in the right way, super, super valuable. Using tech in the wrong way, super, super expensive.
Yeah.
Your job's to pick the right tools at the right time, not just chase every single trend. And the folks here at High Rock, folks like Jay and myself, we're here to help you to figure out that strategy and make sure that you are making those investments in the right spots, the ones that can help you at the right time.
Yeah, we chase down that technology so you don't have to.
That's a fantastic tagline. I love it. We chase down the technology so you don't have to. Love it. Well, Thank you everyone for spending some time with us today. We like Jay mentioned, please comments. Let us know what you want to hear about next, or what your experiences are so far. We want to hear them, want to see them. We will be back again soon to talk about who knows what else in the e-commerce space, but we'll be here to talk about it in the e-commerce space. And in fact, I know Jay and I will be together in person in just another couple weeks as we head off to Camp A2X again to meet with other e-commerce leaders in the market all together. So it's a fun and exciting week coming up. So it'll be nice to connect to Jay. Who knows what we'll do while we're there. Thanks again for spending time with us this afternoon. We'll see you again on the next one. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your Labor Day.
See everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Test something out. Do it this weekend.
Do it.